Hey guys! So today I'm creating a tag. Obviously I'm obsessed with Lord of the Rings and I realized there's actually not a Lord of the Rings tag, or at least not one that I could find. So I'm creating something called the Tolkien Tag. So let's get geeky about some Tolkien. How does your Middle-earth story begin? The first time that I ever got introduced to anything Tolkien, I think, was my mom reading me and my sisters and I, The Hobbit. Actually, that would be my sisters and me. Anyway, I don't think she ever read us Lord of the Rings, just The Hobbit when we were little, and it was maybe not my favorite book, but I did really enjoy it. And then I remember watching the movies, at least the first one or two, with my sisters. But then eventually I just kept watching them, kept really getting into them, and it was like the obsession slowly grew. I have never read any of his other stuff, any of the other lore, except what was in the back of the Return of the King book. Everything else is on the list. At some point, I'm gonna get to it. Question 2. What is your favorite Middle-earth book? This is tough because a couple years ago I could have told you for sure, but after I read all the books all the way through, it got kind of confusing, but I still think that my favorite one is The Two Towers. I just feel like this one has so much of the tension, it's caught right in the middle. You don't get the lightheartedness of the beginning of the Fellowship, and you don't get the resolve that you get at Return of the King. It's just sort of caught in the middle, and you have, oh, I don't know, I like the tension the best. Except Treebeard. Could do without Treebeard. What is your favorite movie? The same, I think The Two Towers as well. This one also has the Uruk-hai in it, and they freak the crap out of me. The orcs are creepy and weird and horrible, but the Uruk-hai, for some reason, just... they really reach down into my soul and terrify me. So I like it, of course, naturally, that's my favorite. Once again, except Treebeard. Could definitely do without Treebeard. Movies or books? Obviously, I love them all, and I've spent hours devoted to either of them, both of them, but I don't know, the addition of just the music alone, and also the scenery, really just tips me towards the movies. I'm sorry, I'm a musician, and that music is just amazing. Who are your favorite characters? This was originally going to be a singular question, who is your favorite character, but obviously that wasn't going to work. I think if I had to pick one, it would have to be first Éowyn. Any of you who have seen the song that I wrote and performed on my channel called Lady of Rohan, I think you know that I kind of, I don't know, identify with her, I guess. There's something that I really admire in Éowyn. I also really like her brother Éomer, and he's one that I feel like a lot of people overlook him. He's kind of an overshadowed character, but he's a really good character and really solid. The acting is perfect, made me love Karl Urban. And then of course there's Aragorn, who is probably one of my favorites as well. He's one that does get a lot of attention, a lot of people give him his cred, but he does deserve it. And I have to be like every other girl, I think, and admit that Legolas is a favorite. And not just because of Orlando Bloom either, I swear he's gorgeous, but that is not the reason I like Legolas. All of the reason I like Legolas anyway. What Middle-earth race would you be? I guess in reality I would probably be a woman of the race of men, which seems kind of boring, but what I'd really like to be is an elf. They're my favorite. I always love the characters that you don't fully get to understand. You sort of get a little bit of a hint into their world, but you don't fully get to access them. You don't understand them at all. And the elves are not perfect either. They're not good and sympathetic necessarily all the time. I think The Hobbit kind of brings that out a little more so than the Lord of the Rings movies, and the books definitely bring it out. Best actor character casting match? Everyone. I mean, let's face it. But I especially love the casting of Bilbo in the Hobbit movies. Martin Freeman is absolutely perfect. Also, Legolas, Orlando Bloom, I mean, who would have thought he would have looked good as a blonde? But he's perfect. His voice and everything is gentle, and it conveys the mystery of the elves as well. Galadriel also makes an exquisite elf. Her voice is beautiful and low, and I love the contrast between Arwen as another perfect elf as well, but she's very light and airy and high-pitched. Galadriel, on the other hand, has a bit more depth to her character. She has a bit more of a dark side, and that is also conveyed. And let's be real, Gollum / Smeagol is just, I don't know how you could have cast anybody better than that. What is your favorite place in Middle-earth? Hands down, Rivendell. Rivendell is just like a pure haven, and nothing bad quite reaches it, so it just feels safe and pretty and scenic and everything wonderful. I also feel like it would have a really good library. And lastly, what is your favorite quote from the books or movies? I absolutely love Sam's speech in The Two Towers when they're at Osgiliath. Frodo has just encountered the Nazgul, and it's such a moment of tension. You know something's gonna happen, something has to happen, it's monumental, but then out comes this speech, and it touches you, and it even touches Gollum. I mean, you know that it has to be a good speech if Gollum is sitting there watching and listening. And the funny thing is, I've watched the behind the scenes on it, and that was something that wasn't originally planned to be there. That was sort of something that, I think maybe the lines were attributed to Gandalf originally, or something about it. It wasn't supposed to be like that. That scene was not planned from the beginning to be that amazing and to even be there. So there you have it, that is the Tolkien tag. If any of you guys want to do this tag, please do. I would love to know your Lord of the Rings stories, what you think about anything and everything Tolkien. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.